Welcome to Lights Gone On, with David inviting you into a tribute space where remarkable lives are remembered with honour and warmth. This channel shines a light on iconic figures from film, music, sports and culture whose presence shaped generations. Through each story, we celebrate their impact, cherish their memory, and keep the spirit of their legacy glowing for years to come. Dennis Art, born February 23, 1939, is remembered for a life shaped early by discipline, resilience, and service. Before entering the world of acting, he served as a helicopter pilot during the Vietnam War, an experience that left a lasting impact on his outlook and character. His military service earned him 2 Purple Hearts, reflecting the hardships he endured and the strength he carried forward into later chapters of his life. A transition into performance. After his time in the military, Art gradually moved toward the performing arts, where he discovered a new path built on storytelling and expression. His transition into acting was not marked by instant fame, but by steady work and a growing respect within the industry. He developed a reputation for bringing sincerity and grounded presence to his roles, allowing even smaller performances to feel meaningful and authentic. Work across screen and stage. Dennis Art appeared in films such as Basic Instinct, 1992, and SWAT, 2003, where his performances added realism and depth to supporting roles. However, much of his most significant work took place on stage. Over 15 seasons with the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, he became a consistent and valued presence, performing both classical and contemporary works. His stage career highlighted his range and his ability to connect directly with live audiences. In 2016, his performance in Heisenberg earned him a Tony Award nomination, further recognizing his skill and dedication. A legacy of quiet dedication. Those who knew or worked with Dennis Art often described him as humble, steady, and deeply committed to his craft. He approached both life and performance with care rather than attention-seeking, focusing on authenticity over recognition. He passed away at the age of 86, leaving behind a legacy defined not only by the roles he played, but by the integrity, service, and quiet passion he brought to everything he did. Dick Barnett, born on October 2, 1936, was a basketball player known for his distinctive style and calm confidence on the court. What made him stand out immediately was his unusual shooting form. Rather than following convention, he trusted his own rhythm and technique, which eventually became a recognizable part of his identity and a symbol of individuality in the game. Time with the New York Knicks, Barnett is most closely associated with his years playing for the New York Knicks during a highly successful period in franchise history. He was part of the championship teams in the early 1970s, contributing steady scoring, experience and composure in high-pressure moments. His role helped strengthen a team that became an important part of basketball history and helped define an era for the sport. Character and life beyond basketball. Off the court, Barnett was respected for his thoughtful nature and his commitment to education. He valued learning and personal growth alongside his athletic career, showing that success in sports can exist alongside broader intellectual goals. This balance made him stand out as more than just an athlete. Legacy Dick Barnett passed away at the age of 88. He is remembered for his individuality, his contributions to championship teams, and the lasting impact he left on basketball history. Ed Gale was born on April 23, 1964, and developed a career in the entertainment industry built on adaptability and dedication. From an early age, he showed interest in performance work that went beyond traditional acting, eventually finding his place in film and television through physically expressive roles. career in film and television, Gale worked as both an actor and stunt performer, contributing to a wide range of productions across genres. He became particularly known for roles that required physical performance, movement-based acting, and creative use of body language to bring characters to life. His contributions often supported storytelling in ways that were essential to the final on-screen result, even when not always in the foreground. Craft and on-screen presence. What defined Gale's work was his commitment to physically demanding performances and character-driven roles. He had a strong ability to embody characters that relied heavily on motion, timing, and expression rather than dialogue alone. Colleagues often valued his professionalism and the consistency he brought to complex and challenging sets, where coordination and precision were key. Legacy Ed Gale passed away at the age of 61. He is remembered for his distinctive contributions to film performance and stunt work, as well as his role in helping bring imaginative characters and stories to life. His work continues to be appreciated by audiences and industry professionals who recognize the effort behind physical performance in cinema. Francisco San Martin was born on August 27, 1985, in Mallorca, Spain. He grew up between Spain and the United States, spending parts of his childhood in Madrid and Montana. This multicultural upbringing helped shape his adaptability and gave him a broad perspective that later influenced his acting style. Career, he became widely recognized for originating the role of Dario Hernandez on Days of Our Lives in 2011. His performance brought a natural charm and emotional sincerity that quickly resonated with viewers. He continued working in television with appearances in shows such as The Bold and the Beautiful and Jane the Virgin. Across these roles, he showed a steady screen presence and an ability to move between dramatic and lighter storytelling with ease. His performances were often marked by subtle expression and a grounded approach to character work. Legacy Francisco San Martin passed away at the age of 39. He is remembered for a career that, though relatively brief, reflected genuine passion and dedication to acting. His work continues to be appreciated by fans who connected with his performances, and his presence remains part of the television stories he helped bring to life. James Gadson passed away at the age of 86, leaving behind a legacy built on decades of influential work in music. A skilled drummer known for his smooth, soulful style, he became one of the key behind-the-scenes figures shaping the sound of R&B, soul, and disco across multiple generations. Signature sound and classic recordings. Gadson's drumming helped define several iconic tracks in popular music. His unmistakable groove can be heard on songs such as Thelma Houston's Don't Leave Me This Way, Bill Withers' Lean on Me, and Diana Ross's Love Hangover. His playing was known for its subtle power, giving songs rhythm, warmth, and emotional depth without overpowering the vocals. Continued influence across generations, even beyond the classic era of soul and disco, James Gadson remained active in music, contributing to projects with modern artists including Beck, Harry Styles, and Kelly Clarkson. His ability to adapt across decades made him a rare bridge between eras of sound, respected by both veteran musicians and newer generations. Legacy and remembrance. A US Air Force veteran, Gadson is remembered for a life shaped by discipline, creativity, and quiet excellence. His influence lives on through the countless recordings he helped shape, with his rhythm continuing to inspire musicians and listeners around the world. In 2018, the Emmy Awards became the setting for one of Hollywood's most emotional nights. Henry Winkler, now in his 70s, stood on stage with tears in his eyes as the entire audience rose to applaud him. The award he finally held was not just for his role in Barry. It represented decades of waiting, rejection, and quiet persistence. For many in the room, it felt like a long overdue correction from an industry that had taken too long to fully recognize his range as an actor. Winkler had been a household name since the 1970s, yet major awards recognition had eluded him for years. As he looked out at the crowd, the moment carried something deeper than celebration. It symbolized endurance. His journey showed that success is not always immediate, but when it arrives after struggle, its meaning becomes even more powerful and unforgettable. A childhood shaped by pressure and misunderstanding. Henry Winkler was born in 1945 in New York into a family shaped by survival and post-war trauma. His parents, German Jewish immigrants, had escaped Nazi Germany, carrying emotional scars that influenced their strict household. In their home, success was not optional. It was a responsibility tied to gratitude and survival. However, Henry struggled early in school, not because he lacked intelligence, but because he processed language differently. Reading felt confusing and unstable, as if words refused to stay still. Without awareness of dyslexia at the time, teachers labeled him unfairly, and he internalized feelings of inadequacy. At home, expectations added further pressure, deepening his insecurity. What no one understood then was that his mind worked uniquely, not incorrectly. This difference would later become central to his creativity, but during childhood, it left him feeling isolated and constantly misunderstood in both academic and personal spaces. The discovery of acting as a safe space. Everything began to shift when Henry Winkler discovered acting during childhood. School had become a source of stress, but the theatre offered something completely different: freedom. On stage, reading challenges mattered less because performance relied on memory, emotion, and repetition. He could learn lines in his own way and step into characters who felt confident and expressive. For the first time, he experienced a space where his differences were not judged but used creatively. Acting gave him the ability to step outside the identity that school and criticism had imposed on him. It became a refuge where he could explore emotion without fear of failure. While others saw theatre as a hobby, Henry saw it as survival. It allowed him to believe, even briefly, that success was possible not by changing who he was, but by embracing the way he naturally thought and expressed himself. Yale and the making of a serious actor. Henry Winkler's acceptance into the Yale School of Drama marked a major turning point in his life. Despite earlier academic struggles, he entered one of the most respected acting programs in the world, where discipline and talent were pushed to their limits. At Yale, he worked with intense focus, often harder than his peers, because he had to develop personal strategies to manage reading challenges. Memorization and repetition became essential tools for him. Although his dyslexia remained undiagnosed, he instinctively created methods that allowed him to succeed in performance. The environment was competitive, filled with actors who would go on to shape the industry. For Henry, it was both validating and demanding. It confirmed he belonged in the profession while also testing his resilience. Yale did not remove his struggles, but it sharpened his craft and strengthened the determination that would define his career. The audition that changed everything. Henry Winkler's life changed dramatically when he auditioned for a small role in Happy Days. At the time, he was a working actor in Los Angeles, taking small television parts and trying to build stability. The character Arthur Fonzie Fonzarelli was originally written as a minor supporting role. However, Henry brought a different interpretation to the audition. He saw Fonzie not just as a tough figure, but as someone using confidence as protection against insecurity. That emotional depth immediately stood out to the producers. Instead of remaining a background character, Fonzie quickly became central to the show's identity. Henry's performance transformed a limited role into something iconic. Without planning it, he stepped into a character that would define an era. The audition did not just give him employment, it completely redirected his career and turned him into a recognizable figure across American television history, becoming a cultural phenomenon. As Happy Days grew into a massive hit in the 1970s, Henry Winkler became part of global pop culture. Millions watched each week, and Fonzie turned into a symbol of effortless confidence and coolness. The character became so popular that he overshadowed much of the show's original focus. Merchandise, appearances, and public recognition expanded rapidly, making Henry one of television's most recognizable faces. However, this fame also brought limitations. People no longer separated him from the character. Instead, he was seen primarily as Fonzie, not as an actor with range and depth. The line between his identity and his roles slowly blurred. While the success was extraordinary, it also created pressure to maintain a fixed image. The same fame that elevated him began shaping expectations that would later restrict his opportunities, marking the beginning of a complicated relationship with his own success. The hidden cost of typecasting. As Happy Days continued, Henry Winkler began experiencing the downside of extreme popularity. Although audiences adored him, the industry struggled to separate him from Fonzie. Casting directors often admired his talent but hesitated to cast him in new roles, worried audiences would not accept him differently. This led to typecasting, a major barrier in his career. Despite formal training and versatility, he was repeatedly told he was too recognizable to disappear into other characters. Even comedic and dramatic roles were limited by perception rather than ability. Success had created an unexpected constraint, trapping him in a single identity. Henry found himself admired yet restricted, celebrated yet creatively boxed in. This contradiction defined much of his professional life during that period. What once felt like opportunity slowly became limitation, shaping a long phase where recognition did not translate into artistic freedom or meaningful career expansion. Years of uncertainty after the show. After Happy Days ended, Henry Winkler entered a difficult transition period. Many expected his career to naturally evolve, but the industry continued to associate him with Fonzie. Auditions often ended with polite rejection, as producers struggled to envision him outside his iconic role. This repeated pattern created a long stretch of uncertainty. While financial stability was not his main concern, creative fulfillment was missing. He explored directing, producing, and teaching to stay connected to storytelling, but acting opportunities remained limited. During this time, he focused on family life and writing, trying to rebuild his identity beyond his most famous character. The contrast between his earlier fame and present struggle was emotionally challenging. Still, he continued working quietly and consistently, refusing to step away from the industry entirely. This period became one of patience, adaptation, and quiet persistence rather than public recognition. Understanding dyslexia and reframing the past. A major turning point in Henry Winkler's personal understanding came when his stepson was diagnosed with dyslexia. As doctors explained the condition, he immediately recognized his own lifelong experiences. Difficulties with reading, reliance on memorization, and feelings of inadequacy suddenly made sense. For the first time, he understood that his struggles were not signs of low intelligence, but differences in how his brain processed language. This realization brought both relief and emotional reflection. Relief came from clarity, while reflection brought sadness for the years spent misunderstood. The diagnosis reframed his entire childhood experience, and allowed him to view himself with more compassion. It also inspired him to speak more openly about learning differences and support children facing similar challenges. What had once felt like a personal limitation became a foundation for awareness, empathy, and long-term advocacy work. Writing, teaching, and a quiet comeback. Over time, Henry Winkler rebuilt his career through writing, teaching, and selective acting. He co-authored a successful children's book series about a dyslexic boy, drawing from his own experiences. These stories resonated strongly with readers because they presented learning differences in a positive and relatable way. Alongside writing, he slowly returned to acting through smaller but meaningful roles in television and film. Although these projects did not immediately restore his earlier fame, they allowed him to demonstrate range beyond Fonzie. Critics began noticing the depth and authenticity in his performances. Gradually, the industry started viewing him differently, appreciating his consistency and adaptability. This phase was not marked by sudden success, but by steady rebuilding. It reflected a career shaped more by persistence than by immediate recognition, proving that creative relevance can return even after long periods of being overlooked. The Barry breakthrough and Emmy recognition. The role of Gene Cousineau in Barry marked a powerful revival in Henry Winkler's career. The character, a flawed and emotionally complex acting teacher, allowed him to explore both comedy and drama with unusual depth. Critics immediately praised his performance for its honesty and emotional weight. For Winkler, the role felt personally resonant, reflecting themes of ambition, insecurity, and the need for validation. His portrayal connected strongly with audiences and industry professionals alike. In 2018, he won the Emmy Award for Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series, a moment that represented long-awaited recognition. The award was not just for a single role, but for decades of perseverance, reinvention, and belief in his craft. It symbolized the completion of a long professional arc where patience and persistence finally met acknowledgement from the industry that had once overlooked him. Legacy, resilience, and reinvention today. Henry Winkler represents resilience, adaptability, and long-term artistic endurance. His journey reflects how success in entertainment is rarely linear and often shaped by timing, perception, and persistence. From a child struggling with undiagnosed dyslexia to a global television icon and later an Emmy-winning actor and author, his life shows continuous evolution. He continues to advocate for dyslexia awareness, helping children understand that learning differences are not limitations. His work across television, film, and literature has built a legacy that extends far beyond any single role. More importantly, his story demonstrates that setbacks do not define a person's future. Instead, persistence and self-belief can reshape even the most challenging beginnings. Henry Winkler's career stands as a reminder that identity is not fixed by early labels, but shaped by the courage to keep moving forward over time.